Picture this. You're a little boy living in a small village in Montes in Portugal. You want to grow up and become a footballer just like everyone else, but kids in that part of the country rarely get a chance to show themselves to big clubs. Unless you're the luckiest Portuguese of all time and go out to play for Atletico, win the Champions League, UEFA Cup, multiple league titles, and even play for your country at the highest level. All the while, you're picking up the most attractive models on a nightly basis. But I know what you're thinking. How is that luck? He was probably just talented. Yeah, that's the thing. He wasn't. At all. In fact, he only started playing in the second division of Portugal because Eurico Gomes, the only player that has ever won the Portuguese league with all the three biggest clubs, had a good relationship with his family. Eurico owed a lot to Marco's grandparents and decided to help the young guy, giving him a place in the team he was coaching at the time. Marco joined Tirsense, a club from the Portuguese second league, and by now, you'd assume he was at least a star in that team, helping them reach promotion, right? Nope, Marco wasn't even a starter in most matches, and Tirsense had a terrible season, finishing bottom of the league. Everything went wrong, the man who put him there was sacked, and Marco would be released as well. But Eurico had big things in mind for a young boy. He flew him to Madrid and arranged a trial for him. If he passed, he would sign a contract with the third biggest team in Spain, Atletico Madrid. But if he couldn't make it in the worst team of a second division, how would he be good enough to sign with Atletico? A team who just 2 seasons ago had been champions of Spain and possessed a squad full of stars. Well, he wasn't. But like I said, you might not know Eurico Gomes, but he had a lot of influence and knew many people in a couple of clubs, and Atletico was one of them. So in just a few days, Marco had signed with one of the biggest European clubs. Not too long after, he would also become best friends with his biggest idol and perhaps the most gifted Portuguese player of all time, Paulo Futre. But by the time he met him, Futre was no longer the superstar he once was. He had been the best Portuguese player in the 80s, but the 80s were long gone. And in 1998, when Yokohama Flu Girls came calling for him, Futre didn't think twice and left, but proposed to Marco Ferreira the idea of going to play with him in Japan. Any rational person would deny and find Atletico the best place to develop, especially considering it was highly unlikely that he would ever have a chance to play for a big club again. But Mark wanted to be Futre's butt buddy so bad that he left the club without even talking to the man who put him there in the first place. Of course, he didn't adapt to the country and thought that a great, promising player like him shouldn't be wasting himself in Japan. Well, soon enough, he would be calling Eurico to bail him out of a tough situation again. Eurico did so, and once again found him a space in a team from the second division. This time, it was Passos de Ferreira, but then again, he didn't impress there. So when things don't go according to plan, what does Marco do? He activates the most overpowered cheat code in existence. Call Eurico Gomes. Like always, Eurico delivered, and this time he even got him a place in the first division with Vitória de Setúbal. Finally, for the first time in his career, Marco actually played well. He formed a decent partnership in the right wing with Paulo Ferreira that even got him on a national team. This time, he actually has some merit, but his following move to Porto is still lucky. Look, Mourinho's favorite club isn't Chelsea, Inter, or even Porto. The club he loves the most is Vitória, and besides, Porto always had a tendency to either buy or loan players to that club. Mark had a good relationship with Mourinho's dad and pretty much everyone in Setúbal. So much so that he was even invited to be a judge in several beauty contests where he would meet the hottest top models in the country. But that's besides the point. The fact of the matter is that he was definitely at the right place at the right time. Once again, he was in one of the biggest European clubs. Many players don't get that opportunity a single time, and he had it twice. He came in the middle of the 2002-2003 season as a bench player, to play in cup matches and to adapt to the squad. But 5 months later he would win his first trophies, the UEFA Cup, the Portuguese League and Cup. Fast forward a year later, Mourinho's Sport win the Champions League and the league title for the second year in a row. In just a year and a half, Marco Ferreira was in the national team, won the league twice, the National Cup, the UEFA Cup and the Champions League, with his ass sat on the bench for most of the time. After that glorious season, Mourinho left, and for better or for worse, his favorite players also left. While Paulo Ferreira, Ricardo Carvalho and Deck would move up the ladder, Marco Ferreira would be given marching orders. The next year and a half would be the complete opposite of the last one. He would have uneventful stints with Vitória Guimarães and Penafiel before luck came knocking on his door. Despite never impressing anyone, his resume portrayed a world-class player, And Benfica, who at the time had a tendency to buy garbage players, caved in the pressure and bought Marco Ferreira with hopes that he could help them win the league. After all, he was seen as a lucky charm, one of those clutch players who look out of their depth the majority of the time and then have a moment of brilliance that makes everyone forget how bad they were playing a couple of minutes ago. But this time, his luck had run out. He didn't get half as many chances as he did in Porto and left Benfica without winning anything at just 29 years old. He played another 3 seasons with Leicester City, way before their glory days, Belenenses, and finally in Greece with Atletico Piraeus, finishing his career at just 31 years old, proving that when luck finally ran out, his playing days ended too. But hey, don't get me wrong, Marco Ferreira knew how to play football better than me, and probably better than you. He wasn't a Greg Axelrod or a Carlos Kaiser, but to achieve so much in all areas of his life in such a short period of time without boasting any impressive talent just goes to show that anything and everything is possible. And the next time you're sitting on your ass crying because you can't achieve what you want in life, I want you to think to yourself, if Marco Ferreira did it, so can I. And that is it. I hope you liked this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up so I know you want to see more content like this. And as always, don't forget to subscribe in order for me to grow the channel and stop recording a Guitar Hero microphone and for you not to miss any interesting video. Thanks for watching until the end, I appreciate you and I will see you soon.